disgusting and insensitive. Piers Morgan versus New York Portal Flasher. This criminal, this piece of human filth, just did the most disgusting and insensitive thing you could ever do. She showed her own flesh. Let's watch.
Ava, welcome to Uncensored.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Well, a pleasure. My first question is, why did you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I did it because I have an OnlyFans, and I thought it was a great way to market my OnlyFans.
So you had no...
Okay, it's kind of hard to defend that. I mean... All right. Not something I would do, but hey, whatever.
no degree of shame. It was a marketing ploy.
Yeah, I have no shame at all. I made $100,000 in a week. What other 25-year-olds making
God
$100,000
damn.
in a week?
And so that's your only
Well,
motivation.
lots
You
of
didn't
people, I
care
suppose,
that
but-
you may have embarrassed your country?
I think Americans do way worse than show their boobs. Who doesn't love boobs? I'm sure you love boobs, Pierce. I love boobs. It's just a pair of nice boobs.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
they're-
that offensive.
Well, no, it's nothing about the quality of your own cleavage. It's about where you showed them.
All right. So, she has a good point. Okay. Pierce has a good point too. You're embarrassing your country, but if we're gonna think of it like that, America's doing terrible stuff right now as I'm speaking into the camera. Terrible. Like, we're unaliving people. And we're freaking out over somebody showing their boobs when there's other horrible stuff going on. That's a good point. Let's not take away a good point just because it's said by this person.
When you have children looking, you have elderly people, you have in Ireland, of course, nuns, priests. Did none of that cross your mind that they may not all be as receptive
what?
to your boobs as everybody else?
Well, you know what? There were no kids that I could see, and everyone seemed to really enjoy it. I could care less, Piers. I really didn't care. It's just a great pair of boobs that I wanted to share with the world.
Right, the installer said the intention was to bring people together from different cultures and ways of life together in order to break the narratives of separation and conflict. Do you feel you've contributed towards that?
Yes.
I absolutely think I contributed towards that. Again, who doesn't love boobs?
And we need more.
Especially American ones.
More of that.
But your explanation when you were asked about it, you said, I just wanted my potatoes to be international. So I just got the portal from New York to Dublin shut down. I thought the people of Dublin deserved to see 2 New York homegrown potatoes.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, they're not homegrown, they are plastic. But
Aw, what?
you know, I really
not
thought,
even
you know,
real.
the people of Dublin enjoyed
You
it.
can end the video
The
now.
media seemed to enjoy it. Everyone seemed to like it.
Well,
so
some
I
people
don't know
did.
why they shut the portal down.
Some people enjoyed it and some people thought it was disgusting and insensitive and inappropriate.
Okay. If you're a man, Pierce is a man. And no, I'm not saying you identify. I mean, if you're a man, the words inappropriate should not be coming out of your mouth. It shouldn't. In my opinion, is my opinion. And listen, I've done a lot of stuff in my life that a man shouldn't do. But I don't think a man should say that's inappropriate. That's a woman thing to say.
Well, you know what? I think the people that found it insensitive and inappropriate probably don't get to see nice boobs, and they probably never get laid, if I'm going to be honest.
Why would you call them potatoes, knowing how much the Irish love potatoes?
Well, you know what? They like potatoes.
Whoa, that was offensive and insensitive, Pierce. Just, you know, a stereotype towards an entire group of people, saying that you know how much Irish people love potatoes? How rude! How offensive! Wow, I wonder what the Irish people think of that comment.
Potatoes are a big part of their country, right? Didn't they have the famine or something? So I labeled my boobs as
It's not
potatoes.
completely
They're
dumb.
just two potatoes right here.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I can see them. What reaction have you had from your own family?
Well, you know, my mom and dad haven't always been comfortable with the fact that I have an OnlyFans
Right.
page, but they've learned to accept it. You know, Ava flashing her boobs to the portal is just a regular Tuesday for me. They're pretty used to it. You know, my mom and dad are proud of how much money I make. It really doesn't bother them that I know of.
Okay, well, let's find out if it bothers them, because I've actually got your mother,
Yeah.
Susan Lochner, joining us.
Who,
Susan.
who?
Hi, how are you?
Very well. Welcome to Uncensored. It feels a little. Look, let me not be hypocritical here. I have no personal issue with women's breasts being exposed, right? It's where they expose them and how, and people who may not actually be appropriate to see this. And one of the problems I think everyone had with this, it was a very well-intentioned installation. Suddenly your daughter's there flashing her breasts, and a lot of elderly people, religious people, young people were offended by it. Were you, as her mother, offended by it?
Okay, so before we listen to what the mother says, let's comment on what Piers Morgan just said. A bunch of old people, religious people, young people were offended by it. It's a huge generalization, but I understand he's speaking to a general audience, so he can't necessarily talk about individual people. It just wouldn't work that way. But think about it this way. If we constantly just told people that they couldn't do certain things because it offended old people or offended religious people, we would be living in a very strict society, in my opinion. We would look something like the Middle East, some Middle Eastern countries where it's religious rule. I don't want to live like that. As much as I dislike a lot of things that people do in America, as much as I think it's cringy and weird and tasteless and classless, it's kind of what a free society looks like, man. And I wouldn't really want to live anywhere else where this stuff that we constantly have to worry about people being offended. They're giving her more advertisement, which was her purpose. Her purpose was to show her breasts, to advertise her OnlyFans, and people think that's disgusting and insensitive. And yet here they are giving her more advertising. So, shooting yourself in the foot. But I understand he's trying to make a point, and he's got a show to run. He's got to entertain people and talk about the hot topics. So I get it. But seriously, they're just breasts. They're just breasts. You can call me whichever you want. You can call me a sim. You can call me an idiot, a lefty. I don't care what you call me. They're just damn breasts. All right? We do not live under religious law. We do not live under the rule that if it offends an old person or religious person that it's illegal. All right? We just don't. And just because something is illegal doesn't mean that it's immoral or should be illegal.
I was not. And I'll tell you why. Where were all these people when she was growing up? I have been let down by a liberal school system, by a country that doesn't give her job opportunities.
Yeah, she's
A
making
smart,
excuses
beautiful
for
girl
her.
like her can't even go to a corporation and find a job thanks to our administration. Thanks to COVID lockdown, OnlyFans is a real force in this country. I think that Ava is just
disagree, but
responding
yeah.
to what she's given. I am proud of her. I'm proud of her because she's learned a way to make a living here in this very strange world.
But you know, I suppose what I would say is this. I come from a generation where to be on a national stage or international stage for any reason was normally precipitated by a talent. You know, you'd be a great entertainer, you'd be a great sporting figure, a great politician.
Look at her face. He's basically calling her untalented, which, again, I agree. But look at her face when he says that. Let's go back.
Stage or international stage for any reason was normally precipitated by a talent. You know, you'd be a great entertainer, you'd be a great sporting figure, a great politician.
She's like, oh shit, he's calling me
scientist,
untalented.
a great whatever. The idea that you can now become famous, as Ava has done, infamous if you like, just by flashing on a public portal. If I was her parent, I don't think I'd be that proud of that. I mean, I understand you're.
But Pierce, you just made her more famous. This is what I don't understand. It's like people that glorify serial killers, right? Like, you're making them more famous.
Your argument that the system may have let her down and she hasn't got a better job, but really just stripping in public like that for just a bit of clout, few followers, bit of cash. Are you as a mother completely happy about that?
No, of course not. I mean, I would love for her to meet someone in finance, be married, have a white picket fence anymore. They just aren't. And
I'm way too
I think
hot
the way
to work
she does
in
things is smart.
finance.
Oh, she's so. This woman is so unlikable. Unlikable. But look, I'm gonna end the video there. I've seen enough. I get it. The mom's kind of dumb. She's kind of dumb or smart, however you want to think about it. But let me just finish with this. Finish this closing statement. This is what a free society looks like. People doing things that you don't like, that you think are gross, that you think are disgusting. And I'm going to put on the tinfoil hat a little bit here. Imagine if there were these portals everywhere, like the New York portal that showed Ireland or whatever. Imagine if there was a portal in your neighborhood. All of a sudden, you're not allowed to do something anymore because there's a camera there. All of a sudden, you can't be weird, you can't be poor, you can't be inappropriate. No, man. People in this country love to say they love freedom, and then they freak out and get offended by stuff like this and demand that people do something about it. Again, I don't disagree with her choice, but I'm sorry, I don't agree with her decision. But man, they're just breasts. If you're offended by it, then I don't know what to say. Peace.